It happens. Let's get to the phone lines, everybody. Kyle Busch is here.
What can be better?
Right? Let's go to our first caller, line number 1. NASCAR's in the house. What's on your mind, buddy?
Man. Early.
What's going on, y'all? How you doing?
We're great, buddy. Thanks for calling in. What's on your mind today?
Well, first of all, Kyle, 2 things. First, I thought Denny Hamlin nailed the Joey Logano impression, so I want your rating on that. And then your cars. You know, you got Truex and Hamlin running good. Is there one thing that you think maybe you need out of your car that maybe ain't there to help you get that victory and to get up where Hamlin and Truex are?
Yeah, so, you know, the impersonation.
You're not going to try that,
No,
are
I'm
you?
not going to try that. Okay. But I need to give him a vote, I guess, here. Yeah, 7 of 10.
That's pretty good.
7 of 10,
Do you
guess.
think if the big screen wasn't
If he
on and
had
the
a
fans
chance-
saw it, it would have been as good?
If he had a chance to do it one more time, I think it'd be a 10 out of 10.
I agree. I agree. I think he fell into
Welcome
that.
to this episode
That
of
was
NASCAR's
not-
Got Talent.
That was not
So-
planned. He fell into that one.
All right, besides that, why is the 18 sucking right now? Okay. So the 19, they kind of struggled a little bit to begin the year when they first came over. They weren't hot, but now they are. Let's give them credit where credit's due. They're definitely hot right now. The 11's been pretty good all season long. I actually thought the 11 car was a little bit better than us through Martinsville weekend, where their car was, I don't know, speed-wise they were better than us. Handling-wise, we talked about the same characteristics the whole time. And then Martin was like slower than I was and talked about how bad his car was. And so going into the race on Sunday, at 19 wholesales their car, completely different setup, just throw something at it like, what the hell, let's go. And then they obviously kill everybody.
Yeah. Right.
You know, so we were kind of like, I don't think we want to follow that. Like, we're just going to do some little tweaks here. We'll kind of play with the 11 stuff a little bit. And I thought the 11 and I were really close throughout the race. Like, I actually got by him. I drove away from him on a couple of runs. And then as the day was getting later, they were getting a little bit better and we weren't. And my car really struggled for the first 15, 20 laps of a run before it would take off and start going back forward again. So, and then we got crashed and then everything else was happening.
Okay, I'm going to elaborate. I want to go one step farther. Denny controlled the first part of the race. And then when we had the first pit stop, then Truex gets out in front of Denny, and the race is over with at that point in time.
The race was over at what lap?
Yes.
Why? Why?
Because Truex controlled the race, and no one ever got to his bumper
How did
again.
he control the race?
It must just be the package.
Hot
It must
dogs.
just be his package.
Oh.
He had
Give it up.
He had a ton of hot dogs.
But
Okay.
so therein lies my question. When you talk about where Denny felt like his car was, where Truex was being that lead car or that first or second car that important at Martinsville this time, more so than any other time.
I think so. In our debrief, we actually kind of talked about, we asked Martin, we were like, okay, if you had to get back in traffic, like when you got to lap cars, did you have a struggle? Or did other guys catch them, you know, that sort of thing? And they did, right? The 24 I thought was really good, and I thought the 9 was actually probably the best car. And they were really, really good. But the 19 had that track position all day, was up front all day. The 12 was in the way for a run, and we're all sitting there like 6 cars deep, just banging on each other's rear bumpers, can't do anything, you know? You try to bump a guy out of the way, and they just wiggle a little bit, and then they're back going again. And, but, you know, Truex was like, yeah, maybe if I was 4th, I wouldn't have been able to go anywhere, you know? So they were good, and they held a pretty wheel and good pit stops and everything all day and did their job, and that's what it boils down to right now. They made no mistakes and stayed out front.
Yeah.
Matt is next on the line. Matt, thanks for calling in. What's on your mind today?
Hey, Mr. Busch, do you think NASCAR having the limit on the amount of Xfinity and Camping World truck races that you can run a year is negatively affecting your Cup Series races, but you having less race time per the weekend?
Maybe. I haven't raced a truck or Xfinity race in a while. So, yeah, it's been a little bit since I've done that. You know, I wouldn't think that it would have this much effect. I remember, you know, people want to say we're in a slump. Sure, we haven't won in 19 races, right? We just had some stupid things kind of going on and happening. But, you know, past all of that, I remember back to the slump that we had from, what was it? Was it the end of 16 into the beginning of 17, right? It was 36 races.
Yeah.
We didn't win in 17 until we got to first Pocono, right? And then we won 8 from there to the rest of the year. So it goes in cycles, man. It just comes and goes, and right now it's a little rough, but we got to focus on what's ahead, and that's Texas.
When you talk about being in a slump and people talk about you, it's because you're so good, we're comparing 17 or 18 races to what you normally do. Is that the way you guys look at it? Do you say, well, we're just not in a slump, things are just happening?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say we're in a slump of getting good finishes.
Yes,
Sure,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I mean, that's truth. But, you know, I would say that there are certain circumstances and occasions on things that are happening in the races that are preventing us from getting good finishes. I look at Richmond. Richmond was the last clean race that we had. We ran up front all day long. And granted, yep, we got beat by our teammate in the last run of the race because he did a better job saving his tires for an 82-lap run to the finish or whatever it was than us. And we got beat, you know. But past that, we have not had a clean race.
Yeah. Crazy.
I like the way he remembers it was an 82-lap run to the finish.
For the record,
I think
drivers never forget.
they don't forget a thing. Like elephant.
Hey, Motorsports fans, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe before you go for all the latest news and highlights across motorsports.